Good?
Yeah.
Okay, hey everybody, this is Johnny,
And I'm Austin.
and this is the Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, Tennessee Music Scene Podcast, or IKIT for short. What this podcast is for is we intend to discuss punk slash heavy music local to Indiana, Kentucky, Illinois, and Tennessee. Episodes will consist of roughly 10 bands, songs from each band, both songs from our choosing, and songs by request. And the goal is really just to bring news about the local music scene, shows, and help people discover new music and bands in the region. We're going to air episodes weekly, or that's the goal at least, weekly at 12 a.m. on Tuesdays. And we're going to air a separate episode containing, pretty much just a playlist of all the bands that we played if you don't want to listen to all the interview stuff. But some of the cities that we have already that we're working with, we got somebody in Murfreesboro, we got somebody in Evansville, Owensboro, Henderson, Louisville, and Terre Haute involved tonight. That's where all of our bands are located in one of those cities, I believe. If I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. And in the future, the format may change. I intend to do some live broadcasts at some point, and maybe get some friends to come in and actually play a live set or something like that. I don't know. But, yeah, so we're going to go ahead and get an interview out of the way with Joeseph Glisson next. He's from Murfreesboro, Tennessee / Evansville, Indiana. And he's a pretty cool dude. He's got a lot of bands that he works with, and he's going to tell us about them. Here we go. We are for real going. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're talking to Joeseph Glisson from Murfreesboro / Evansville. How you doing, Joseph?
Good, how are you?
We're doing good. And I was just going to start off with a few questions. Well, actually, first, I'm playing 3 bands that you sent me from Murfreesboro down there today. We're going to do your band, Local 58. And I was going to play the song Local 58 and Bloody Knuckles. Is there anything you want to say about those songs? Like, any particular inspiration?
Well, so those songs used to be named something different, but actually, while I was playing that song the first time, I cut myself open across my knuckles.
Oh, shit.
And basically, my blood and shit got everywhere, and I hit somebody in the face in the crowd on accident. I looked back at me all bloody and shit.
That's a pretty good, I like that. That's better than anything that I can come up with any of my song names for. And Local 58, what was that beforehand?
Well, so Local 58 spawned out of another band called the Dirge before that, but we were essentially in a place where we were starting to plateau with our music, and it was having trouble kind of making newer things and innovating.
Yeah.
So me and my bandmate Local 58 decided that we should try something a little bit newer and just have a completely different kind of vibe. So we came back a lot heavier and faster than we were before.
Yeah, I really dig the sound that you guys have, because you can really fit in with, like, a really heavy show, or I could see you playing with somebody like Boner City or something like that, too.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
No, I mean, you guys do it well. What about, I know you're not in Bazookatooth, or I don't think you are, right?
No, I'm not.
Can you tell us anything about them, some of the band members?
Well, so Bazookatooth, I came across the first time. I don't know if it was the first time they played in Murfreesboro, but the first time I got them on a show, it was in like June of 2018, and I didn't expect them at all. They kind of came from nowhere, and when they started playing, it's this girl, this guy, and another drummer, and they ripped shit up so hard. Like, nobody expected anything about it, and all the band members are so nice, and they released a new tape called Assimilate.
Yeah.
It should be on their Bandcamp and everywhere.
Uh,
It's really, really good.
Yeah, I'm playing a song off of that for the podcast this time. Off of Assimilate.
Hell yeah.
Looks Funeral Dredge, I believe is pronounced. I don't want to mispronounce somebody's song, but I'm super dyslexic, so I'm sorry. But then the third band that I have, what was that? Oh, sorry. But the third band that I have that you sent me today is gonna be Dope Sweater, and I actually played with them. Well, my band played with them. I was in the hospital on the night that my band played with them. But I've actually been around those guys quite a bit. They seem to be pretty cool dudes. I didn't really know that they were still super active, and I'm kind of ashamed to say that. But I was really pumped to see that you sent them to me. Can you tell me a little bit about what they're doing, or are you knowledgeable to that?
Well, I haven't been so knowledgeable as to what they're doing recently because it feels I think they're doing lots of different projects with other bands.
Yeah,
But they were actually the first band I ever booked from out of town in Murfreesboro by myself.
that's awesome.
So it was like a 2018 Florida tour or something like that, and it was amazing. They always bring a really good show.
Yeah, they're very energetic, definitely. um, what you said that they were the first out of town band that you booked. Whenever you first started booking shows, how did you get started? Was there anybody who motivated you to do it, or were you just bored?
There were most definitely people who motivated me to do it. Kind of like I'm younger, so
Oh yeah, we all are eventually at some point.
yeah. My parents, my mom specifically, she still is working on a college degree for being a teacher.
That's
and
awesome.
That kind of led way to her meeting a few younger people, not like 18-year-olds, but like 25, 26-year-olds who are kind of more into the scene. And there's a guy named Jack Brunson who kind of sparks me off a little bit on booking more shows once I kind of like once I figured out who they were really. And the first few shows I went to, I really enjoyed them, so I figured I could do it by myself.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Is there a favorite venue that you book at down there?
Yeah.
Or well, don't. I'm not gonna say favorite. I don't want to alienate anybody. But is there one that you book at more often than others?
Yeah, definitely. It's a record store down here called Media. It's not just a record store. They sell almost anything when it comes to DVDs, movies, records, comic books, whatever.
That's dope. That's awesome. I saw a few of your guys' shows on YouTube on there. And one more thing I definitely wanted to talk about is what is Bucket City Punks? I see you post stuff about it all the time, but I've never thought to reach out and ask exactly what it is. Could you give me a rundown?
Yeah, for sure. And thank you. Like, Bucket City Punks is, I don't even remember what it was called originally, but it was the name I went by when I started booking bands, and eventually I thought that I could kind of change it into something more and make it like a small, tiny community-based punk thing. So on occasion I release records and sometimes zines, and more often than not shows, like hardcore only,
Yeah.
kind of really, really heavy stuff like that. And I haven't really, Murfreesboro is cool with the difference in how many bands there are, but for quite a while there hasn't really been a whole lot of people booking just hardcore gigs and bringing new hardcore punk bands down here.
Definitely. I feel like there's a little bit of a lack of that just in our part of the country right now. I don't know. I might be wrong about that. I might be way off, but that's what I have seen in my. I mean, I don't know what I base it off of either. That's just kind of an opinion that I've kind of gathered. But I wish that wasn't the case. I want to see more hardcore bands play. Definitely.
Yeah, Evansville seems to have had like a really good hardcore reception.
Yeah.
Just the crowds kind of lack on it a little bit sometimes.
Yeah, I like Evansville. I recently moved to Owensboro, which, yeah, I know it's like a only a hop, skip, and a jump, but it feels like a lot to somebody who's never moved out of their hometown before.
Yeah.
But I know that I miss the music scene over there quite a bit. I haven't really caught as many shows as I used to. Mixture of being lazy, working, and just not wanting to drive that far for every show. But I want to see another venue or something open up in Evansville, or one of the venues that is there become more active and book more shows. Um, but yeah, I'm definitely gonna come down to Murfreesboro more often. I've only ever been there for one show, and it wasn't any of you guys. It was a band called the Protomen. But
Yeah, I've heard of that somewhere before.
they're like I'm not hating on them or anything, but they're like a Nintendo. They're a Mega Man themed progressive rock band. Is the best description of them. You should check them out if you have the time. They're interesting.
Yeah, there's a few bands like that around here. I don't really know how that caught on.
That's pretty cool though. I mean, it's interesting.
They're always really good.
I mean, they're not bad. Like I said, I'm not hating on them. But is there anything that you're working on, like as far as projects or any bands that you know of that are working on something down there in Murfreesboro that you think people should know about?
Well, so in this whole area, due to the whole quarantine thing, there's lots of new bands that are starting to work on stuff that we probably won't see for a little while. But,
Yeah.
Like everyone's creativity bubble is starting to pop a little bit because everyone is just stuck inside. Not a whole lot of people are even getting outside for new stuff. But music is always gonna flow out through people. You know what I mean?
Definitely. I know personally we've my band, we haven't really had much time to get together with the quarantine. Me and Austin are here together recording this, but other than that, we've been doing like Skype practices and whatnot. And we have a whole new album since quarantine started. We're pretty psyched about that. But I'm sure that's everybody right now.
Yeah. I mean, so Local 58 we just released a new EP. It's called Fraud. He'll play it later. You can find it everywhere. But we're planning on releasing a few splits and another EP in the next coming months. And we're also getting some records put out in a few weeks. I play in another band called Black Market Kidney Surgeon, which doesn't have any music out yet, but we're in the middle of the recording process on that one. And I'm going to be starting a new band here in a couple of days called No Teeth.
Hell yeah.
Like hardcore feminist punk.
Hardcore feminist punk. I dig it. One more question. Well, not question, more of like a statement. You sent me some stuff on YouTube, and a lot of people sent me a lot of Bandcamp links and a lot of stuff on YouTube. As of right now, I don't know how to put things on the podcast that aren't downloaded from specifically Bandcamp. I'm working on finding a way to work with other platforms, and as soon as I do, I'll make sure that everything that you guys sent me will get played, just because you're all friends and you're all people who want to share your music with each other, and that's what this is for.
Yeah, totally. I mean, as long as you have audio production software, it should be fine just to, like, get the files and put them in.
It's not really the having the software that's the issue. It's more or less me being a numbskull. That is the issue. A lot of YouTube is what's going to solve this problem.
Yeah, that's true. All these people out here recording, like, masterful stuff by themselves, and all of mine is just Neanderthal noise.
Oh man. Well, is there anything else that you want to bring up? One more project, or anything that?
Yeah. All right. Here, I got it. Here, there are many bands that people from this area need to check out. Like, it's a big thing. It's almost like people who live in New York need to know their pizza. People from around here need to know where all the badass bands are.
Definitely.
So, like, from Indianapolis, you got the Real Homies, which are in Big Hog, Anti-Feds, and Dope Sweater. And then anti-human, and there's so many. In Murfreesboro, the good ones to check out are Toxic Culture. They also spawned another band called Torsion, and they're really, really amazing. Evansville really does have some heat, but they don't really have a whole lot of venues, so Fairy Ring is really good from Evansville, Thunder Dreamer, Sausage Slam, you know,
you.
God 2, Strict. There's just so many amazing bands from all over the place, and it's really bad right now because there's nowhere to play, but once everything gets back up again, I'm sure it will be amazing.
Well, I know you and I were talking about working together to get, you know, maybe a small tour route for some bands to do together from Murfreesboro to at least Evansville. And hopefully we can find somebody in Southern Illinois who could help us get over there or something. But
I didn't know how to do stuff like that, man.
Well, sweet. Let's later today or maybe tomorrow or something. We need to talk about that, and then I'll call you again next week, and we can tell everybody what we talked about.
Sure, yeah, totally.
Well, man, it's been really nice talking to you. I think it's the longest conversation that I've got to have with you.
Yeah, for sure.
You're a really cool dude. I like you, and I like the way you think, and I'm really glad that you're part of the community, man. And I hope you have a great day.
Yeah, thank you. I hope you have a good day, too.
Thank you, dude. You stay safe out there.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, that was Joeseph, and next we're going to play 4 songs from 3 bands in Murfreesboro, and, not just Murfreesboro, but Bucket City Punks. He sent me all these bands. The first one's going to be Local 58. The album is going to be Fraud EP, and the song is going to be called Local 58. The second song is going to be the same title, same album title, but the song is going to be called Bloody Knuckles. Then you're going to hear Bazookatooth play Funeral Dredge, I believe it's pronounced, off their album Assimilate. And then the fourth song you're going to hear is going to be by Dope Sweater off their album Must Be Destroyed. And the song is going to be I Want to Kill for a Living.
Portray him like an evil...
That son of a bitch. He left our band.
How dare he? Get on speaker. Oh. Uh-oh. What's going on? Okay, good. I didn't even call yet.
What's up, Josh?
Record your message. When you finish recording,
Ah!
We're leaving that in.
We're gonna keep that in, Josh. We're keeping that in. Oh
This is his
shit!
voicemail?
Yeah. I called him first, and then I messaged him and I said, "Hey man, you good to talk?" Oh fuck! Come on, Josh. Come on, Josh. Holy hell, that was funny as hell. Did you hear that voicemail?
Ring a ding 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 ding.
I was about to try and record on my phone again.
Skirt. Ring. Ring. Ringing again. Oh, it's gotta get a voicemail, isn't it? I won't be able to tell.
At the
voicemail.
He's
Why?
also the kind of guy
He just texted me.
He's also the kind of guy that would time it perfectly.
Oh shit! That wasn't Josh. I don't know who the fuck I was calling.
Uh-oh. What?
The worst part is the same number texted you and said they could talk.
No, Josh texted me.
Okay, that was not them.
We're keeping that in still.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello.
Hey, Josh, how you doing, man?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going good. I accidentally called the wrong number a couple times, and I kept going to voicemail, and it was some dude just screaming at the top of his lungs.
It might be me, but I think you got the right one now.
Yeah, we thought it was your voicemail. We were like, that's such a Josh voicemail. Okay, so first off, we're gonna that person's texting me now. The first thing I was gonna talk to you about a little bit about, whenever I think about you and music in general, I automatically go to Dancing with Ghosts just because it's a name I've known for a while. What are you guys up to, if anything?
Well, we're still just getting together on Sundays and practicing.
Oh
We
yeah.
all have jobs and kids and stuff, so it's just really fun to get together on Sundays and just jam. And every once in a while play a show, but that's about all we've been doing, really.
Oh, cool,
Can't
cool.
play any shows right now.
Yeah, no one's really doing that. I got bored enough. I made a podcast. But
We'll probably do it 2021 in spring, probably.
yeah, that's probably going to be the next show that we see, unfortunately.
Maybe they'll have a show at Holiday World, I don't know.
It'll be on the Legend or something like that.
Hopefully.
But we're gonna play a song in a little bit. Here, I got a few more questions for you before we do that. But I was gonna play Robots Bleed Pink.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Anything you want to say about that song?
Well, that song is kind of like Dillinger, the skate plan, kind of jammy like Cody. I've known him since we were kids, since we were 12, 13. And Jason, too, the bass player. So we grew up together in the scene, you know.
Yeah.
But I never played music with him until I got sober. And so that song took forever to like compose and figure out what the fuck he was even playing. So it's kind of a grindcore song, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I feel like we all bring different genres to the table, and it just gets mashed up a little bit. But,
Sometimes that works the
that
best, you know?
song is weird. I like that song. We play it not that much anymore, but when we do, it takes a couple go-throughs to figure out what the hell we're doing.
I understand that.
But once we mapped it out and figured out what the fuck to do with the riffs he was bringing, it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I dig it, definitely. I like the song. It's the one that I felt. I don't know how to describe what I liked about it the best, but it's the one that I was most drawn to on your Bandcamp.
Yeah.
But moving on, another question. I was just gonna ask: is that all you're working on? Are there any other projects that you have in mind that you might be doing in the next year, 2 years, whatever?
Well, I was in 2019 before all this junk happened.
Oh, yeah.
Joined like a bluegrass, jazz, ragtime kind of weird guy band from Owensboro called Skip Liver. And it was a lot of improv, a lot of it was all acoustics. So I played with brushes and had like a cocktail kit, didn't even have a bass drum. And that was really fun. That was really enjoyable. They're really talented. They all play in like other bluegrass bands from Owensboro, but this is like the third project, like this, side project. So that was fun. We played the Owensboro Library, and that was interesting. I never played library before. But it was fun.
That's awesome.
What did you say?
Oh, I was just saying that's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. But they have a Facebook page you can check out too. It's called Skip Liver. And it's mainly those two guys, and then I play percussion when they need me to, and there's a stand-up bass player if we can find one, you know.
Yeah.
But other than that, I've been trying to start a punk band like always, you know, and finding people.
As you do.
Was jamming with these guys that used to be in Silent Film Stars. One of them moved away, so now we got to look for new members. But that was fun. But other than that, that's all I've really been doing.
Well, yeah, that you've been more busy than I thought you had been. That's cool. I was gonna ask about bluegrass. I've been wanting to, you know, get out there and see some bluegrass shows and whatnot, but I don't know anybody who, other than you, who's really in the bluegrass scene. So shoot me a text next time you're gonna do something like that. I wanted to come check you guys out.
Check out the Gaslight Boys. They're from Owensboro, and those are some of the dudes that I play with in Skip Liver. But they play like Ramones covers, you know, and stuff like that, like different types of songs, you know, new wave covers. Like they don't just play traditional bluegrass. So they're really fun, and they're all really insanely good players. But Owensboro right now, all the kids are really insanely talented at music instruments. It's really good little scene they have over there. Another band called Nectar Valley. I think they're younger kids, but man, they had a good show. They could draw a good audience and had a lot of fun. But you know, I like everything, so I'm not like just closed-minded punk, I guess.
Oh, definitely not.
Bored as fuck playing the same thing over and over again.
Yeah. One question I had, I'm glad you brought up bluegrass. I was gonna ask you, at one point in my living room, you told me you were really passionate about it, how bluegrass and punk are virtually the same thing, and you gave me a big spiel about it, and I was wondering if you could do that again for me.
Okay, well, there's two sides of it. Like, I used to think when I was younger, because I grew up in a musical family, like everybody was in band, like you had to go to band, you had to learn how to read music, it was like a thing. So coming from that and growing up on bluegrass and, you know, 70s and 90s country and stuff, we used to go to Nashville all the time when I was first start getting into punk with my grandpa, and the time signature is the same, the speed is the same. So a good fiddle or banjo tune would be like 180, 200 beats a minute, right? If you're really getting it. And the same with punk and metal, it's the same speed.
Yeah.
But the difference is, it's more in tune with, like, the folk culture. Like, if there was no beatnik culture, there would never have been a punk culture. If there was no hippie culture, there would never have been a punk culture. And there would be no beatniks, and there'd be no hippies if it wasn't for the original folk and country artists. I mean, country and folk started the underground music scene. I mean, so it's like, when you look at it as an extent, if I go to rock, the Bluegrass Festival, it's a party. Like, the band's show is a party. Like, if you go to
definitely.
to any show now, even an EDM show, there's mosh pits. So it all bleeds over. It's all the same thing. It's just different noise, different vibration. But my big thing is, like, the time signature, the 3 chords. You're just going G, C, D, G, F, A. You're just going. And you just change over and over again. And it's the same thing with punk. I mean, once I realized, like, I can play really fast punk on the drums, then I already knew I could do that from band playing with 2 sticks. So if, like, now I can skip liver if we're, like, going pretty fast ragtime song or a rockabilly song, then it's the same drum beat. I just use brushes and hit the snare instead of using the bass drum and the hi-hat. It's the same thing. But the coolest thing is, like, the aesthetic. Like, they both have their own aesthetic. Like, 70s bluegrass, those dudes were rhinestone, fucking decked out, like, fucking slick dudes. And it's the same thing for punk rock.
Hell yeah.
For hip-hop. It's, it all bleeds over, I think. I don't know. Genres are ridiculous. Like, it's important to embrace them, but they're just ridiculous because there's so much bleed over. If you actually, like, know how music works, as a drummer, like, you got to be able to be in any kind of genre, or you're not going to get a gig. That's the way I looked at it. So, but I think for me, punk and bluegrass, when it comes to harmonization, simple key changes, and like, just the speed, it's all the same thing. Like, you hear like a no-effects guitar solo, that's a fiddle solo. You're waiting for LFA to
to do like an 80s hair metal solo while they're playing fastcore.
Yep.
It's the same thing when a bluegrass band's getting it and the fiddle player comes out of nowhere. It's the same thing.
Yeah, man. No, I couldn't agree with you more. You and I are very like-minded in that aspect, definitely. A couple more questions for you. You actually are doing a perfect segue for me. You're guiding the conversation towards my questions. But one I had was, what genre of music are you most into right now? Because I know you're always listening to something very different from the last time I asked.
Oh, that's a tough one right now. If you would have asked me this last year, I would have said, like, composers, songs without words, jazz. But right now, I've got this playlist called Big Change Energy 2020.
Yeah.
And I've just been putting my favorites on there.
Hell yeah.
Just favorites. Like, I'm never an album guy. I'm always a song guy. So right now, it's like I want to hear my favorite songs. But it's still mainly just songs without words, unless I've heard the song many times and like words. But right now, it's like mixed. Like today, I listened to psychedelic rock. Like that's what I listen to all morning. And that's what, for me, I just like picking something new every day. But I've been trying to learn how to play piano, so been listening to a lot of classical, been listening to some Yo-Yo Ma. Yo-Yo Ma is all over that 2020 playlist. And classical still is right now just what gets me going with my mind. Like, a good song's a good song. Like, if I'm going to listen to, like, a fucking screamo song that I listened to in high school, I'm still going to love it and sing it. But, like, it's not interesting. I know how to
Definitely.
do it. It's not interesting. Like, I get it. Someone wrote that song, and they played it. Like, that's cool. I love rock and roll. But what's really interesting is when someone composes a song, and they make all of it. Like, they make all of it. And that's the best part for me. Like, listen to Yo-Yo and just different classical music. I listen to it at Popeye's Chicken. When I work at Popeye's Chicken, I listen to classical music watching the dishes. So, like, yeah, they think I'm weird.
I'm not saying you're a bad dude. You're a great dude, but I bet there's a lot of people that call you weird. But I can't understate how much we all think of you.
Yeah, that's good.
But I wanted to also bring up, we used to play in a band together, and
Yeah.
I would like to mention, first off, as far as drummers that I've worked with, I don't think that I've ever worked with somebody who's your caliber, and
Thanks.
you blew me away literally every single practice. But one question that me and Austin have about that is, did you or did you not hate being in a band with us?
Well, here's the thing. Like, I will always say, I'm a glutton for punishment. Like, I will do that again. Like, I will go find some people. I do that every Sunday. Like with Dancing with Ghosts. They know how I am. They've known me for years. Like, I'll just say, oh no, let's do this again. So like they know, and so for me, I didn't hate it. I thought it was like a glutton for punishment thing.
Yeah.
I think it's fun. Like, I want to be a music teacher one day. I'm just done.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be a good one.
Definitely.
So for me, like, I enjoy it. Like, I feel like sitting there and working it out is fun.
Yeah.
But, like, you also have to understand the room. You have to understand what you're doing. And that's why I told you, like, I've never ever practiced and just listened to vocals and learned the songs. Because that's what I did in that band. Like,
Yeah.
I just listened to you scream, and then I know. But it's just my funniest thing that happened was when I would get so frustrated with Shane because he like,
Oh my God,
we know.
So
but
easy.
not play the damn strings. Like, watching someone play the guitar, I'd be like, dude, you gotta play along with him. You gotta follow along with him. Like, what the fuck, you just sitting here staring at somebody playing the guitar? Cool, bro. Welcome to the party. Try. So that was my biggest thing. Was like, when someone shows you the song, you gotta at least pretend to pluck along. At least pretend to pluck along and move your hand up and down. That was that was the thing, like, oh, okay. I get it.
Yeah.
It's just for fun. But that is what punk is. It's just for fun.
Yeah.
It's not like supposed to be like fucking, you know, Johnny Ramone, fucking straight,
Yeah.
hardcore, we're the best kind of mentality. Like it's fun. It always has been fun. You know, like all those CBT bands that weren't the Ramones, it was all about fun. It wasn't serious. And that's the good thing about Sausage Slam. I mean, it wasn't serious.
Yeah.
These songs are fucking ridiculous, and we're gonna play them. And I did that for years when I was in my high school band. I did that. We went once you played for 10 years playing the same silly songs about fried chicken and fucking Kentucky and shit.
Exactly.
It's fun. It doesn't have to be something non-immaculate or good. The fun part is hanging out and playing music. That's what it's about.
Definitely. And we had a great time playing with you. If you ever, any of your bands are ever looking for a show and you see that we're on a bill, I want to play with you again, definitely. And one thing I wanted to mention, we were talking a lot about bluegrass earlier. You mentioned Romp. I actually moved like right next door to Yellow Creek Park where it takes place.
Awesome.
So whenever that happens, well, next year now because it's been canceled for Corona this year. But next year, whenever that happens, if you want to come over, you can get a free seat from my backyard.
Awesome. Yeah. Over the past couple years, it's really fun. I'm happy that I spent a lot of time in Owensboro last year and met all those kids because their music seems good. I mean, they're working really hard. I mean, they're playing all genres and they're doing really good. So I'm happy that met some people in Owensboro and got to jam and play some shows. It's really interesting. I like playing different genres and different types of percussive instruments. It's fun.
Yeah, man. Well, you're a great drummer, a great guy, and I consider you a friend. I know Austin does,
for
and
sure.
I'm pretty sure there's like 300 people out there who have really good things to say about you. But yeah, just hey, thank you for calling, man, and thank you for being on our first episode.
Oh, no problem, man.
You have a good day, man. Thank you.
See ya.
Bye. Okay, so that was Josh Barron of Dancing with Ghosts, and we're gonna go ahead and play his band song, "Robots Bleed Pink." Okay, so now we're gonna talk a little bit about some memorable shows from me, at least, and in the future, you guys comment on Facebook, say something about a memorable show. I want to talk to people about a cool scene story they have. But today, me and Austin are just going to share a few since it's the first episode. We're going to just share it with our friends for our friends. A specific show that we're going to talk about, it was, I think, 2017 or 16.
I honestly can't remember. Years blend together too much.
It was a New Year's Eve show, and it was Sausage Slam, The Cool Mutants, Riffs, Not Your Villain, The Dead Livers, and The Circle's Edge.
Oh yeah, fuck! I did forget we played that. That's the reason I was there.
That's the reason you were there. You were playing the show.
One of the reasons. It was a pretty cool show.
It was a nice show.
It's honestly one of the best shows I've been to be honest, too.
My favorite show that I have ever been to prior to that was also a New Year's Eve date, and it was also a Cool Mutants show.
Cool Mutants just brought the light, dude.
Every time.
They brought the heat.
So I could see... I was about to go see Metallica at that one music festival over...
Dude, no crowd.
I swear to God that
Not
seeing
even
Cool
close.
Mutants got me more excited than the notion of seeing Metallica. Seeing Cool Mutants was more exciting than seeing Rancid. I talked to Jello Biafra, and I get more goosebumps whenever I'm in the crowd.
You're that close to them. They have so much energy.
I swear to God.
And their songs, they made it, and like everyone knows the fucking words. And if you didn't, you now know the fucking words.
You knew it after the first show you went to go see him at.
Everyone was singing along. Everyone. The entire room was packed shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't fucking get out if you wanted to, but everyone was jumping up and down together. Everyone was singing out loud. Dude, that was a sick show. I've never seen a community like that that fucking strong.
Every Cool Mutant show that I've ever been to is like that. But that show in particular, also, Cool Mutants, if any of you guys happen to hear this, can we please use Buzzhog as our theme song? Please and thank you.
I swear to God, that's such a good song.
Anyway, also, what I was going to say, this show in particular, I booked it, and I just hit up all of my favorite bands and my friends from the community who I love playing with the most, and I was like, let's just throw a kicker. And I should have learned more from that experience than I did, because a lot of you guys might know that I've, brought in a lot of touring bands and whatnot, and I've played with bands that I don't really know why I sought them out and everything. I'm trying to bring a lot of people in, but the best shows are always the shows where you're playing, your friends are playing, and their friends are playing, and everybody brings a friend. It's not the shows that everybody's like, oh, I heard about that band on Spotify or on Tumblr or something, so let's go see them because they're trendy.
Those are the shows that are built with heart.
Yeah.
I mean, the other shows, you're just built around money.
Literally. I mean,
and if you put money first, I mean, you won't have heart. You can't have both. Not a lot of people can find that balance.
Definitely not. And this is just really, there's been so many times that I've been in a crowd at PG or at Shelter House 3 or 15 or 17 or I don't know. I mean, even Wired, the old, and over at the Hatch, there was just always there was a show every once in a while that would bring everybody together, and it was always local, and they were the best shows.
Always the ones you'd never think in the world would be popular. There was this the first band I was in, the Circle's Edge. We actually couldn't, we tried getting on at venues around the area, but we weren't known well enough.
They were considered shit by everybody.
Well, and we were, to be honest with you, but
I liked them.
But anyways, pretty much what it was no one would book us. So, a lot of people stop there. A lot of people don't go any further, but we had the motivation and drive. We said, you know what? Let's put this on ourselves. So we put together a show. My dad had this scout cabin thing. I won't say the location or anything, obviously. But
hi, Lenny.
Yeah. Anyways, they we put a show on in a Boy Scout cabin. We emptied it out. It got more elaborate because we held more than just that show. Because after the first show, which it was mostly friends and family, but I mean, still an audience is an audience, and we actually had a pretty decent turnout. I don't know how many people because I didn't count them, but it was a small cabin, but it was filled. It was filled, dude, and that was a great feeling. And that show ended up having more people at it than some of the venue shows that I ended up playing.
Definitely.
And it's because it had the most heart. People saw that.
First show that I ever threw, because I'm pretty sure that at the time that the Circle's Edge was starting up and the Sausage Slam was starting up, a lot of the bands in the area were having the same experience that we were, where there was a plethora of local bands playing at the time, so many that we couldn't get into venues because we weren't already, I don't know if it was because we weren't already known or what the reasoning was exactly, but it was an issue. It was a struggle out first. So I booked a park show. The Cool Mutants played that one too, and it was my first show that I ever booked, and I made a lot of friends that day that are still friends to this day. And I'd love to have everybody who was at that show and everybody who's at the New Year's show be on this podcast at some point. But going back to the New Year's show, sorry. One thing that happened there, one of the bands that was coming down, I'm not going to mention which band it was, just so no members get in trouble, because I know he's listening right now. He got arrested on the way to the show, and we found out that his bail wasn't anything crazy. I don't remember what it was, but we were able to pass around a bucket, and everybody that was at that show put in enough money that we bailed him out of jail that night.
That was pretty awesome, seeing community come together just like that, just on the spot.
That
No
was
one
pretty
was
dope.
forced to donate.
Yeah, no one. I mean, I remember one person. One guy who he felt guilty that he was involved. He put in a lot of money, but then somebody else matched him. There was a stranger who was not involved in the situation that put in like $100.
Definitely.
And that blew my mind that night. That night was seriously the coolest night that I've ever seen the community come together, at least firsthand. But there's no reason that it can't be like that. We just need to.
No, definitely not. Just we gotta get back to it.
Yeah. Well, I love all the bands in the community, and all the people who are in the community. I mean, it's just great. We have a really good vibe going. It's just hard to get us all together in one place at the same time.
Definitely.
But we will soon. I wanted to go ahead and plug a little bit of what we're doing musically, me and Austin. As you guys might know, we play in Sausage Slam, and we're actually getting ready to put out a new album here soon. We're going into the recording studio with Steve Tyner at Black Cat Recordings, and I don't know if we have a name for the album yet, but whenever we do, we'll tell you, and it'll probably be weird and vulgar.
Probably.
But
whatever catches your eye.
yeah, these next couple songs that we're gonna play, we got Sausage Slam. We're gonna play Innocence off the album All Meat No Filler. After that, we're gonna have Not Your Villain play I Don't Give a Shit, and Riffs are gonna play Olympus, and yeah, we got those three coming, and then we're gonna come back and talk to you guys a little bit more, sign off, and then we got our last band, our headliner for the night. Thank you very much, and here comes Innocence by Sausage Slam. Okay, that was Olympus by Riffs. Up next, and last but not least, we got Together in Dust with Sinful World off the album Alive in a Valley. Nate Lee Hicks, that's his Facebook name. That's one of the guys in the band. I believe he's the vocalist. He's a great guy. He really is. I can't think of a bad word to say about him. I doubt anybody can. Hopefully next week you'll be one of my phone guests for the show, Nate. But anyway, here's their song, Sinful World, and we're going to go ahead and sign off. You guys have a good week, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye.
Out.